While most countries are still debating what the future should look like, China is already building it. Not in a lab, not in a concept render. In factories, on highways, at airports, and underneath cities. The scale is staggering. The speed is faster than most people in the West have been told. And the gap between what China is deploying right now and what everyone else is planning to deploy is widening every single month. 4 areas, 4 stories that individually would be extraordinary. Together they form a picture of a country that has decided to reshape civilization and is executing that plan with a discipline and pace that has no historical parallel. This is what China is building, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Chapter 1. The Robot Army. In April 2025, 21 humanoid robots ran a half marathon in Beijing alongside human athletes. Not a demonstration, not a promotional stunt, a timed competitive race, 21 kilometers on a public course. Some stumbled, some fell, some finished, and by the time the race ended, every robotics analyst watching understood that something fundamental had shifted. A year earlier, China's humanoid robots were mostly viral footage of machines wobbling through folk dances at the Spring Festival Gala. By the 2026 gala, those same platforms were performing martial arts, aerial flips, and weapon handling routines with a precision that drew comparisons to human athletes rather than industrial machinery. The numbers behind this acceleration are staggering. Of the roughly 15,000 humanoid robot installations globally in 2025, China accounted for more than 85%. The United States accounted for 13%. China's humanoid robot market is projected to grow from $377 million in 2024 to $10.26 billion by 2029, according to World Economic Forum analysis. China has been the world's largest industrial robot application market for 12 consecutive years. Its share of the world's newly installed robots increased from 51% in 2023 to 54% in 2024. Industrial robot stock in China surpassed 2 million units in 2024, more than half of the entire global total. The companies driving this are largely unknown outside China but are moving faster than any competitor. Unitree Robotics, headquartered in Hangzhou, shipped its G1 humanoid robot at a starting price of $16,000, an order of magnitude cheaper than comparable Western platforms. By 2026, Unitree's CEO stated the company expected between 10,000 and 20,000 humanoid shipments that year alone. The top humanoid robot makers by 2025 shipments were led by China's Agibot and Unitree, followed by UB Tech, Leju Robotics, Engine AI, and Fourier Intelligence, according to TechCrunch analysis of the sector. The competitive advantage is structural, not accidental. As Zornitsa Todorova, head of thematic research at Barclays, told CNBC, China has a nearly vertically integrated robotics value chain. From the rare earths and high-performance magnets to the physical components and batteries, much of it built up through the EV sector. This allows Chinese companies to iterate faster and price lower than any Western competitor currently can. What is coming next is not incremental. China's CCP Central Committee has recommended incorporating embodied AI as one of the new drivers of economic growth in the forthcoming 15th five-year plan. The government has set a target to dominate the humanoid robot market by 2027. At the current trajectory, few analysts are betting against them. The car that drives itself for $10,000. In February 2025, BYD chairman Wang Chuanfu stood on a stage in Shenzhen and made a statement that should have been front-page news in every country that makes cars. He announced that BYD's autonomous driving system, called God's Eye, would be standard on 21 vehicle models, including the Seagull, a car priced at 69,800 yuan, $10,000, the cheapest production car in China's most competitive segment. Now capable of navigating highways and self-parking without human intervention, powered by a system that was previously reserved for vehicles costing 3 times as much. This is not a gimmick. This is a strategic rewrite of what personal transportation means. Wang's declaration that 2025 would be the first year of intelligent driving for all was backed by an industry projection from China EV100 that 15 million new cars, roughly 2 out of every 3 sold in China that year, would feature at least Level 2 autonomous driving capability, according to South China Morning Post reporting. For context, Level 2 means the vehicle can control steering, acceleration, and braking under certain conditions. BYD went further. It announced integration of DeepSeek, the Chinese AI model that shook the global technology industry earlier in 2025 into the most advanced version of its driver assistance system. It completed more than 150,000 kilometers of real-world Level 3 testing, where cars navigate streets without driver hands on the wheel. Chinese authorities granted the first Level 3 production licenses in December 2025. The broader market context makes these numbers more significant. 5 Chinese firms currently operate 2,300 robotaxis across 30 cities. In the United States, Waymo, the sole fare-collecting robotaxi operator, runs approximately 700 vehicles across 5 cities. Public acceptance data from a 2023 survey showed that 85% of Chinese consumers were comfortable with autonomous driving without human supervision, compared with 39% of Americans. A 2025 Edelman Trust Barometer found that 72% of Chinese adults trust AI versus 32% in the United States. The combination of government support, infrastructure investment, public acceptance, and BYD's aggressive pricing strategy has created an autonomous driving ecosystem that Western competitors are struggling to understand, let alone match. Trains faster than planes. In June 2025, a 1.1-ton vehicle on a test track in Hubei province accelerated to 650 kilometers per hour in 7 seconds. 6 months later, researchers at the National University of Defense Technology broke that record by reaching 700 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds on a 400-meter track, a new global benchmark for superconducting electric maglev systems. To put that number in context, commercial passenger aircraft typically cruise between 480 and 575 miles per hour, or roughly 770 to 925 kilometers per hour. China is testing ground vehicles that approach those speeds, not in a vacuum tube, not in a laboratory simulation, on a physical track with a real vehicle, recorded by state broadcaster CCTV and confirmed by independent analysis. These test records sit on top of an already extraordinary operational infrastructure. China's high-speed rail network spans over 48,000 kilometers as of the end of 2024, the largest in the world, and is targeting 50,000 kilometers by end of 2025. For comparison, the entire United States high-speed rail network is essentially non-existent at national scale. CRRC, China's state rail manufacturer, unveiled a 600 kilometers per hour maglev train prototype at the 17th Modern Railways exhibition in Beijing in July 2025. Equipped with full autonomous driving, 5G communication networks, AI video analytics, acoustic sensing, and superconducting magnets, it is designed to reduce the Beijing to Shanghai journey from 4.5 hours to 2.5 hours. The engineering at Donghu Laboratory has a declared operational target speed of 800 kilometers per hour. Engineers there expect to complete full track construction and reach conditions for acceptance by end of 2025. If the technology scales as projected, it would not only transform Chinese domestic travel, but fundamentally reframe the competitive calculus of air travel on routes under 2,000 kilometers, as CRRC senior engineer Xiao Nan noted in an interview with the paper. The December 2025 record of 700 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds is not the destination. It is the current waypoint on a trajectory with an 800 kilometers per hour operational target and a long-term research goal of 1,000 kilometers per hour in vacuum tube configurations. China is not building fast trains. It is building a replacement for domestic aviation. The city that watches everything. At Shanghai Hongqiao Airport, the process of checking in, dropping bags, passing security, and boarding a flight takes 12 seconds per passenger. No tickets, no ID cards. Facial recognition handles all of it. At 62 airports across China, 557 security channels use the same technology. Beijing's largest airport has over 600 biometric checkpoints, 250 automatic gates, and 80 self-service stations, all operated without human staff involvement. This is one visible surface of an infrastructure that runs far deeper. China has deployed over 200 million surveillance cameras nationwide, 4 times more than the entire United States. The system, often referred to as Skynet, uses facial recognition integrated with AI to identify individuals in real time across public spaces. It has been used to identify jaywalkers, detect individuals not complying with public health requirements, track wanted individuals in crowds, and according to Chinese authorities, predict and prevent criminal activity before it occurs. Police officers in multiple cities now wear AI-powered smart helmets capable of scanning crowds and instantly identifying wanted individuals against national databases. The system has an error rate that authorities describe as approaching 1 in a million. The commercial layer of this surveillance infrastructure has produced practical innovations that reshape daily transactions. WeChat Pay already dominates cashless payments across China. But beyond that, palm payment systems are live and scaling. WeChat Palm Pay scans the lines and veins in a person's hand, a biometric identifier more unique than a fingerprint and faster than any card or phone. Over 1,500 stores are already live with the system. Students use it on campuses. Travelers use it on public transit. The infrastructure for a society in which identity verification and payment happen simultaneously through a single gesture is operational and expanding. The implications of this infrastructure extend beyond convenience. China has built a technology layer across its cities that gives the state and commercial entities an unprecedented real-time picture of human movement, behavior, and transaction. The efficiency gains are real. The airport speeds are real. The frictionless commerce is real. The surveillance is equally real. And the debate about what this system represents, who controls it, and where its boundaries are, is one that the countries watching it develop from the outside have barely begun to have. Humanoid robots, a self-driving car for $10,000, a train faster than a plane, a city that knows your face before you say a word. None of this is science fiction. It is already happening. The only question is whether the rest of the world noticed in time. Subscribe for more.